Almost ready. Hello, everybody. I think we're live. Okay. So, hello, Perth. We are here again for another episode of Freedom 2025 Live in Action. So, for tonight, guys, before we get started, we want everybody who's joining us tonight to please let us know where you are watching us from. Because, as you know, as global entrepreneurs, this broadcast goes everywhere in the world. So we want to know exactly where our viewers are coming in from. So we are business owners from Perth, Western Australia, and we are also coaches, and we are bringing to you people in the business who have just recently reached their milestones. So for tonight, together with Coach Rose and Coach JC, we are bringing you Joanne, and she just reached her fifth milestone. Joanne, please let us know where you're coming from, and kindly introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you're watching us. My name is Joan Nassaka. I am a registered nurse by profession and I'm a proud digital business owner. I've been doing my business for the last 1 year and a half and I'm really happy to be here. Um, I've been in Australia for a little bit, 11 years, but yeah, just recently I became a digital business owner.
Wow. So, what are you doing before you started your business? Just give us a bit of a background of, what you're doing on the side.
Okay. So I moved to Australia 11 years ago. And in those 11, when I moved, I had trained as a registered nurse back home in Uganda. I'm originally from Uganda. And I had trained as a registered nurse. So when I moved here for work. But when I got here, I quickly realized that to survive, to balance paying bills and doing things back home, I have to work in the night. And for the
Wow.
last 11 years or so, I've been doing night shift. But something changed for me in, I think it must have been 2020 when COVID hit, because we
Mm-hmm.
had to work extra hours. We had to work in the conditions of COVID. Something really changed for me. And when that changed, I knew that I needed a change. I was burnt out. I was tired. I was exhausted. Because remember, during that time, as nurses, we had to work. And I remember there was a time when the policy changed, and if you were sick, as soon as you had a negative test, even though you were not feeling up to it, you needed to show up. 2020 was very hard for me when COVID hit. And I have to say, when I was studying, I studied about burnt out and I didn't even know what it meant. And I remember
Mm.
saying to my teacher, my in the nursing school back then, I'm like, how do people even experience burnt out when you have days off and things like that? But I tell you what, during that time, I experienced burnt out so much. I was exhausted. I couldn't take it anymore. And that's when, for me, I knew I needed a big change and I needed to do something else. And that's when I started looking for something else to do. And in 2020, yeah, so I looked around, I saw a few things, tried a few things, and then I pounced on our business. And I tell you what, I was scared, I was skeptical. And for 2 years, I was on the fence watching and thinking, this must be, it can't be real. How is this possible that people are even doing this? And for those 2 years that I was on the fence, that's my only regret, sincerely, because I should have started back then. I should have started, then. But anyway, so I watched then 2020, end of 2023, that's when I hit rock bottom. So even though I was burnt out in during the COVID time, we finished the COVID time. By 2023, I hit rock bottom because after COVID, a lot changed for nurses. The way we did our work, the way we were seen as professionals, and the way we were treated as professionals. So I really hit rock bottom in end of 2023, and I knew it is now or never. My why then was much stronger than any fear that I had had before. So just a bit of a background why I find myself, here as a digital business owner. Plus, I'm still a nurse. I enjoy nursing because uh, Coach Jesse can testify to that, that once a nurse, always a nurse, because you like to give back. You like to, I love, communicating with my patients. I love doing what I love to do. And that's the only reason I moved to Australia. So, but, you know, it's good to have choices right now.
That's true.
Yeah.
Um, and here you are, 18 months later, hitting milestone after milestone, and we really want to know how you got, how you got to where you are. But let's start off with our first question. Coach JC, would you like to ask the first one?
Sure. Amazing story, by the way, Joan. First question is looking back, what was your biggest challenge that you faced in this digital business, and how did you overcome um, eh, to reach this milestone?
Wow. I can't say that there's only one biggest challenge. There was plenty of challenges for me. First of all, I am not a social media person at all. Okay. Because I was looking back at my Facebook screen and I joined Facebook maybe 2014, but there was hardly a picture of me. I was on Facebook every single day, but I hardly posted anything. I hardly put anything out there. So for me, social media was something that I looked at as to come in, do what I have to do, look at other people's posts, and go away. It was never about me posting. So being a shy registered nurse, that was my biggest challenge. How to come out of my comfort zone, how to actually,
Mm,
because when you start the business, it's a bit of hazy. You're starting because you're thinking, I can't take this position where I'm at anymore. So you're thinking, I have to do this. I have to do this for myself. I have to try something else. So when I started the business, it's, my why was big. I needed to change my life. I needed to live life, and I needed to see some sun again. But then again, I'm shy. How do I come from that position of shyness to doing the business? So that for me was my biggest challenge. And it took me a while to come out of my comfort zone. But once I started getting out of my comfort zone, a lot changed. The other biggest challenge for me was my mindset.
Mm.
In our
mm,
business, we emphasize mindset a lot, only because most of us come with an employee mindset and thinking, I'm going to do this business the same way that I'm employed. So to change my mindset from being just an employee mindset to now a digital business owner, that was also huge. Bear in mind, I'm a traditional business owner. I know about the hoops of doing business, but to change my mindset, that also was a very big challenge. And fear is the enemy. A lot of us fear a lot.
Yeah.
Fear is the biggest enemy that we have today. A lot of us fear to do things. How will they see me? Who is talking about me? Or how can I put this? And of course, now as a registered nurse, I've got to defend my registration. I've got to put myself out there. That fear. Once that fear was one of my biggest challenge. But once I got over that, once I changed my mindset, then the fear also disappeared. And then once also I knew the business and I understood the business, then I knew that I'm standing behind something legitimate. I'm standing behind something that works, and I'm standing behind a mission, something bigger than myself, something bigger than just me having another income stream. Then my fear went away and my mindset changed, and I grew and I came out of my comfort zone.
I love that. That's really
very.
good. Very
Yeah.
relatable. The fear and the mindset. Mindset is everything in growing your online business, in any business actually that you do, especially in our online business, as you've said. And I really I can really relate, totally relate to you, Joanne, of the
Yeah.
fear of rejection, maybe of the people that
Yeah.
knows you when you started the business. Those are, what you judge yourself already when
Mhm.
you kind of think that I can't do this. People will judge me. What are they going to talk about my profession? What is my colleague gonna talk about? What am I doing? But yeah, and then only when you overcome those fears, when you push forward, you can only overcome those fears when you push forward, and when you truly embrace this business, when you truly embrace the process, the system, and everything. And like you've said, you know exactly that you are in the right business, you have the right system, and you are in the right place. And that's when
Yeah.
you stood your ground, and now look at you, hitting milestone after milestone. So that's really
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. Maybe we can also move on to question number two with Coach Rose.
Question number two for you, Joanne. If you could give one piece of advice to your starting out self in this journey, what would it be? Your past Joanne.
The biggest piece of advice I would give myself is that fear is a thief. Fear is a thief of opportunity. Fear is a thief of joy. Fear is a thief of growth.
Mm,
Personal development is no longer something that, um, personal development is important. But for you to experience that personal development, you've got to get over the fear.
mm,
Because let's face it, whether you are a registered nurse, whether you are a teacher, whether you are, you need that personal development. You can't keep functioning from an area of, I'm a student, I learned this and this is what I do. Personal
Mhm.
development is key to who we are in our relationships with people, in our relationships in our family. So if I could give myself that one piece of advice, is that don't let fear steal your development away from you. Don't let fear steal your growth away from you. Because whether you like it or not, you've got to grow somehow, and you've
yeah,
got to become a better version of yourself. Even just for the sake of the family, the people that you live with, you've got to grow as an individual. And that's one thing that I love about our business, because personal development comes along. Most of us think we're coming in here to get an extra income, but we don't even realize these developments that we have, this personal growth, and this, mindset changes that we have. So, my advice would be, don't let fear steal anything from you.
yay.
Very true. Very true. Congratulations. Just
Thank you.
if you just look back how much, if you only realize how much you would have lost if you have just um did not push through, if you were not open to being teachable and coachable, if you're not open to new learning new things, if you're not being scared of the what ifs and all what and all in being in social media. It's not just about money, it's just that it's not just about losing thousands of dollars, but also the fact that we're helping people start a new business. And of course, just like what you said, what's amazing with this business is you're earning and you're also developing yourself. At the
Mm,
end of the day, our best and biggest and most expensive investment will be ourselves, will be our mindset, because this is
yes.
what pushes us forward. This is what will bring us to better, better versions of ourselves 10 years from now, 20 years from now. The Joanne in 20 years, and how we are in the future is created today. So it's really
Yeah.
such your story is very inspiring, Joanne. So
Yeah.
jumping on the third question,
Yep.
what small wins or sacrifices along the way do you now realize were the stepping stones to this big achievement of yours?
Wow, I think I've spoken about the fact that I'm a shy girl. I'm an introvert, and I used to pride myself in being an introvert. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of my life that I still enjoy as an introvert. But to realize that what I am doing is much bigger than myself. Most of
Mhm.
us come and we're thinking, I need an extra income. For me, it was to stop at the time when I started, I was doing 100 hours a fortnight to survive
Wow.
because bills, bills at home, bills here, all of that. I used to religiously do 100 hours a fortnight and I was exhausted,
My
right?
gosh.
So for me, the biggest issue was I need to pull out of the two extra shifts that I'm doing and
Mm,
stick to 60 to 80 hours a fortnight. So that was why I came in.
mm,
But the sacrifice for me was to actually invest in understanding the business.
Mhm.
And when I invested that time to do my training, when I invested that time to understand what this business was really all about. Now, I got a privilege to attend the convention in June this year in San Diego. And I listened to our founder, and he said when he started this business, it was to complete a circle of compassion. And for me, realizing that this is bigger than the extra income I'm looking for, this is a mission to help other people, gave me the courage to invest in myself, invest in my own education, invest in my personal growth. And when I did that, when I invested in my mindset, when I invested in my personal development, then I realized that the results started coming. So the commission came only after I did the mission.
mm,
So it's not about get this, get that, get that. No, we are much bigger than the income. We are much bigger than just what we are earning out of here. It is a mission to help other people, to complete that circle of compassion where we all can help each other to grow fundamentally as human beings, to develop financially, and to emotionally be okay. Because if you have an income coming in and you're stable, then everything else is good. So
mm.
for me, when I understood that mission, that sacrifice I invested to learn the business, to understand what I'm doing, that's when I saw the results starting to come in.
Wow, that's so inspiring. I mean, I think the key word that I've learned tonight is the mission.
Yes,
Because once we start the business, and this is for most of the business owners that we know, the first thing that they think about is when am I going to get my money back? I
Right. Yeah.
invested this
Mhm.
much money. I want to get my money like straight away. But if we, I think if we don't think about ourselves first and we think about the reason, the bigger picture, why we are doing this, I think we just become an instrument
yes,
for other people to get out of what they are experiencing.
Mm,
And I think that was the biggest thing that I've learned from you, that instead of thinking about the money that's coming into the business, you just think about the people that you can help, because
yes,
you don't know who is looking for this opportunity. You don't know the people who actually need it more than you, because we're already in Australia. We have a lot of opportunities here, and sometimes you think about, well, why would I still want to go out of my way, learn something else, and get myself in front of social media, which was, I think, for a lot of us, that was a big issue, because
yes,
a lot of people think, especially like 3 or 4 years ago, that once you start a business online, it is a scam. And nobody wanted their face in front of something like that, right? We all had that fear. But you are so right in saying that, once you get over that fear, fix your mindset,
yeah.
learn what we are doing, and tell people how legitimate this business is, it gets a lot easier.
yeah.
So, wow, that is so inspirational. And I didn't even know that you went out go to San Diego this year. And I think we
Yes,
just
yes,
surprise ourselves, right? With the things that we
yes,
can do with this
yes,
business. We've also traveled, the three of us, to
yes,
Japan, and I think we've learned so much about ourselves. We've learned so much about each other in doing that, and we would never have experienced it if not for the business, right, guys? I mean, Coach Rose, like,
absolutely. Yeah,
how amazing that experience. I mean, I know we're oh, it's over the, three questions that we have, but I'm really interested. How was that experience for you? If we can just, give it, a few minutes to talk about that, because that is something big that not
Yeah,
yeah,
everybody can do. You
for
flew
us,
all the way.
the Japan trip was so big for us. We came home so alive and like this is really it. So yeah, we want to hear from you.
First of all, I am a practicing Christian, and for me, one of the things that is important for me is I need to keep the values of Christ.
Yes, me too.
I'm not perfect, and I'm not saying this because I'm self-righteous. No, 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 no. But it's
Yeah.
important for me that in all my doings, I am not doing something wrong.
Mm,
So going to San Diego, the first thing was I needed to know that the brand I'm standing behind is not affecting my values as a Christian.
Mhm.
And I needed to just understand to understand what am I doing
mm,
really.
mm.
So that's the reason that I said, okay, God, if you want me to do this business, then I've got to understand where I'm coming from and I've got to understand where I'm going.
Yeah.
San Diego was amazing, mind blowing. Because when you're doing this business, it's you and your screen most of the time.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I'm very lucky and privileged that I had coaches from around the world that I could always seek out. I know so many times I reached out to Coach Rose and Coach Jesse for, oh, I can't do this. How can I do this? And I'm lucky that I had that help. But sometimes when you start, it's just your mentor, your communication. And so you're stuck in that little space thinking, this is all there is to it. But
Yeah.
to see 8,000 people in one room learning from each other, um, celebrating each other, that was
Mm.
huge for me.
Oh,
It
power.
was mind blowing. It was like, wow, this is not just me and my little screen and my little team where I am. It is a big deal. So to experience that, I was there for I went much earlier. So I was there for about 3 weeks. But so I came, stayed at the hotel and saw how people were coming in. Several people were coming in, and I attended all the events. The day one event is all about learning and learning from the leaders that have been doing it for some time. I remember getting into the lift, and this one, maybe gentleman, he was maybe in his 70s or so, and he said, "Hi." And I'm like, "Hi." And, I was surprised because he was talking to me. And he said, "How long have you been doing the business?" And I'm like, 1 year. And he said to me, "Oh, that's good. I've been doing it for about 20 years." And I'm like, "What? 20 years?" So for me to experience people who have been doing this much longer than, I have, and to
Wow.
see the growth and to listen to their stories and to share what they have learned over the years, that was huge. Day one for me, I was not taking any pictures. I was simply listening in and learning and opening my mind up.
Taking
And
it all in.
yes, taking it all in, experiencing. And then on the day two, because day one we had separate rooms where you chose what you wanted to learn about. And I
Wow.
went into the rooms where there was talking about why you started and the mindset and things like that. So that's where I was for the most part of the day. And of course these rooms were all jam packed, but for day two, for all of us to be in that space, 8,000 of us, that was huge. That was really, really huge. And if you haven't experienced it for yourself and
Mm.
someone's telling you about this business, you're like, I don't think so. But to be in that space and experience that, that's why I can confidently sit here and talk about the circle of compassion, because I learned that it's not about me, it's not about my little team, it's about reaching out to as many people as possible, to share this kindness with other people, to grow their minds, to share this mission, to do this mission together. And as a nurse, it is so fulfilling for me to see that even though I'm choosing to reduce my hours and not give a big chunk of myself into nursing, but do this, it's good for me to experience this sharing and showing other people what life is all about, rather than just my little mind said, oh, I can't do this or this and that. So it's good for me to share with people, to help other people, to continue this circle of compassion, one person at a time. And when I look at my team right now and I listen to their stories and I listen to their whys, then it affirms that this is a mission that I'm doing, a mission to help other people. Well, I could go on and on about San Diego,
Yeah.
but it was amazing. Bottom line, it was amazing.
We're just like looking at you, so inspired already.
Yes, yes, it was good. It was really, really good. Because when you know that the brand you're standing behind is about helping one person at a time, and it's a ripple effect. You imagine if I had come in and maybe Coach Jesse didn't help me, or Coach Rose was not there for me, then I would have stopped probably, or I wouldn't have gotten what I wouldn't have experienced all of this. But because all of us understand that we are here to help one person at a time, to help one another grow, then it's sort of like a ripple effect throughout the world. I don't know any of you on the screen like personally, but because of this business, we've met, we've seen each other, and we've grown, and we've talked about things, and we've helped one another. And that's how our founder started this, and that's why he started this. And all the way from Japan, we are in Australia. You guys are from the Philippines, I'm from Uganda, and we are all in Australia, completing this circle of compassion for one another.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we can have Coach Rose to please wrap it up. Share with us your words of wisdom. I mean, Joanne, before she came here, she said that she doesn't know if she's ready for this. Rose was right. We can listen to you for hours and hours because of everything
Yes,
that you
True.
shared with us tonight.
Yeah.
not ready. No, you're so ready.
No,
You like
honest,
you're gonna be one of our speakers, okay? You can't run away from us.
honestly, when Coach Jesse sent the message, I had
Yeah.
forgotten, because the first time I was sick, but then this time I'd completely forgotten, and I wanted to run out of it, but also I am a Christian and I listen to the Lord a lot, and I
Yes.
kept typing the message to tell Coach Jesse, I'm not ready. I don't think I can do this, but the Lord said to me, am I giving you this to
Mm,
keep it to yourself or to
Mm-hmm.
share it? And that for me is a big conviction, because I've understood that it's not about me. It's about
Yeah.
a mission to change one life at a time and to help other people at a time. And looking at my team, I have understood that each of those people are on my team, not because I am good. No, far from it. It's because that their their happy, or their destiny is tied
mm,
to mine through this. And for me, that is why I listened to obedience and I said, okay, I will do it. I did not respond. I just only responded at 6:30. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I can. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you so much, Joanne, for saying yes to the Lord. Because of that, we are so blessed as well to listen to you. I can totally relate to you because I'm a Christian myself. And when I started this business, my prayer was, Lord, I pray that you will give me business partners that also loves you. And look at what
Mm.
I have, Diane, JC, and all the others, and that is so, that is, you're in the right path. If it's God's will for you,
Yes.
he's gonna
Yes.
open doors for that. And what I learned from you to wrap this up is fear is a thief, and that is truly is. It's not from the Lord. The fear
No.
is from the enemy. It and he only comes to to kill, to steal, and to destroy. So
Yes.
that is what I learned from you now. What I like, the highlight that I got from you tonight. Fear is a thief, but faith and action reclaim what is meant for you. And
Yes.
Yeah.
showed us, that's what you've shared to us, and that's what we're bringing. And we were so empowered, we're so um what's this, blessed to hear your testimony about how you started this business and how you're still empowering yourself. And I know you are empowering your team, and you're gonna empower more women and men
Yes.
around Perth and Australia and around the world. So thank you very much for your time. And if
Thank
you're watching us right now, if you're watching the replay, if you're watching live, there you go. This business is not a small business. We are huge. We
Yes.
are huge. And we are inviting you to, if you are still sitting in the fence, you are watching us, you're watching our page, you're watching us grow, um, you're watching us earn. This is now the time for you to take action. Set
Yes.
that fear aside. Do not let that steal your future, your joy, your dream lifestyle. And basically making things into reality, that your dream, make it a reality by taking action now. So what are you going to do, and how are you going to do it? You might be able to see Coach Diane already has her website, that there you can see it there, or you can have a look in our pages. All you need to do is go to our websites, and there's a ton of information that you can find in our website, or you can message us in our pages, and we will respond to you. We can connect with you, and we will help you, we will mentor you, we will coach you, and we hold your hand so you as well can experience the life that we're experiencing now, the personal growth that we're experiencing now. And that's it for now. And thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, Joanne. Until next time, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.